today we are making a meal from our garden, except for the chicken. We have some green beans, potatoes, cucumbers with onion. We're going to fry some green tomatoes. Got our beans back here ready to be put in the pot, but I'm going to start with the bacon first. That's not ours, that's store-bought. But let's get cooking. I already have all the potatoes. They've been scrubbed. They've been cut to uniform size, because if they're cut to uniform size, they'll cook evenly. And these are the Pontiac Reds. You don't even need to peel them because the peeling is so thin and they're so good. I prefer red potatoes over the russets. So we're going to heat the pot and we'll put the bacon in. I get thick cut bacon. And once the bacon starts cooking, you get the grease. When it starts rendering the grease, we add the onion. So all the flavors will meld. Then I'll reserve some of the onion for our cucumbers and vinegar and onion and ice water. I have chicken stock here that I'm going to put in the pot when we boil the green beans. I usually steam the green beans, but this time I'm going to boil them in the chicken stock just to get that added flavor with the bacon and the onion.
My part of dinner today is grilled corn and beer can chicken. I like to cut my corn even, put pads of butter on it, and I love dill on my corn. So put a liberal amount of dill all over your corn. This will steam and grill in your smoker. Dill smells so good. And once you get enough dill to your liking, make a tack out of it. Make sure it's tight. Just close it up. Make sure it's real tight. Put that over to the side. Then bring in the beer can chicken. I have a rack for mine, which is excellent. Keeps it upright in the smoker. So go ahead and put the chicken on the rack. Set it up. Now always when you're working with chicken, remember, wash your hands after you touch the chicken because you're going to be touching spices. First thing I need is mustard. You need a liquid on there to keep your spices on while you're smoking your chicken. Mustard is a great binding for your seasoning. Okay, today I'm going to cook a spicy garlic beer can chicken. First, I'm going to put powdered garlic just all over. Put in your hand, just rub it in. Make sure you get everywhere on it. And don't worry about using too much because in the smoker it'll tone it down. Then I love Tony Chachere's. So liberal amounts of Tony's. Remember, Tony's is very salty. So I don't go overboard on Tony's. So put some in your hand and just rub it in. And the mustard will keep that help it stick to the chicken and keep it on during the smoking. And also I like a little red pepper. After that, you're ready for the smoker, and I usually do 250 to 275 for about 3.5 to 4 hours and keep checking it. You want to get poultry up to about 165.
A lot of people don't peel a green tomato before they fry it. I like to, just because I don't know why I do. I just do. And I have this again. This thing is amazing. We're only going to do 2 today. Now, when I slice these, I don't slice them too thickly because if you slice them too thick, they won't cook good. They won't get that good texture. So don't want them too thin because then they'll fall apart. Ooh, look at that. Look what a meaty tomato that is. I think this might have been the Mr. Stripey. I'm not sure. And when I pick green tomatoes to fry, if you have 3 tomatoes in a cluster, I like to pick from that. So that way the one I picked is gone. The other 2 can start getting more energy to them to make them a bigger tomato. And Robbie likes these. That sign thing? I like the slices. He likes little chunks of tomato. Okay, green tomatoes are sliced. So while the beans are cooking, I'm going to put the green tomatoes. I have 2 eggs. You put them in a Ziploc bag, easier clean up. In here, I have combined flour, cornmeal, garlic powder, a little bit of salt, a little bit of freshly ground pepper, and a little bit of Italian seasoning, and then seasoned breadcrumbs. I mix it up on my fried green tomatoes. Sometimes I do a spicy, sometimes I do an Italian. This one is the seasoned breadcrumbs with pecorino romano cheese. I'm not sure, but just a smidge of this, a little hint of this really makes a difference in the taste in your fried green tomatoes. You can do fried green tomatoes however you want to. No seasoning, Italian seasoning, Cajun seasoning, whatever. And I've done all those. So we have the tomatoes in the bag. You're going to seal it. Make sure it's sealed good. And then all you got to do is this. That's all you got to do. Get them good and coated. Nice coating of egg over all the tomatoes. And then I'm going to put the tomatoes in here. Once they go in here, I'm going to let them sit just so they hold on to the dredge. We've even added hot sauce to the eggs before. Now that's fun. We don't do it when we have company though, because a lot of people can't handle the heat like we do. Beans are almost done, so I added another 32 ounces of the chicken stock to the pot. So we've got a total of 64 ounces of chicken stock to boil the beans and the potatoes, because I still have to add the potatoes. I'm going to add the potatoes here, let them start cooking, and Robbie has brought in the chicken. It smells so good. Look at that. It smells delicious. So we're going to put this right here in a dish, and I'm going to cover it with foil and put it in the slow oven so that way it doesn't dry out. We'll cover it up. So while the potatoes are boiling in with the green beans and the tomatoes are sitting in their dredge, I'm going to cut up the cucumbers and onion. I'm going to put them in the bowl. I'm in the bowl with some vinegar, some white vinegar, a little bit of water, and some ice. My mama French used to do this when I was, well, in the 70s. I would go to Gary, West Virginia in McDowell County, and for Sunday dinner, she would always have cucumbers and onion in vinegar water, iced vinegar water. So anytime I make these and eat these, I think about my mama French. Oh, goodness, they smell so good. I like to sample them too before I put them in because sometimes the peeling can get bitter depending on how much rain you've had. So I'll sample them first. No bitterness to be found. Good. Now we'll get some ice in these. White vinegar. And then I top it off with just a little bit of water. Now we can start on the fried green tomatoes. I have the oil set at about 360. So I'll put 1 or 2 in first and see how quickly it starts browning. If it browns too quickly, I'll turn it down. If it doesn't brown quickly enough, I'll turn it up. So let's see. And I use peanut oil. Peanut oil makes all the difference in anything you cook. And you can do a test to see if your oil is ready by dropping some of the dredge or flour in, and if it sizzles, it's heated up good enough. And I put the thick pieces in first, so that way they will have more time to cook. The thinner pieces I save for last because it won't take them long. And you don't want to add them all at the same time or too quickly because it will bring the temperature of the oil down too quickly. So add them slowly and make sure there's enough space in between them so they don't get soggy. The tomatoes are frying up nicely and they're browning beautifully. The key is you don't want to overcrowd anything you're frying, whether it's chicken or green tomatoes. You don't want to overcrowd the pan you're cooking in because it will make them soggy. So these are turning out great. I can't wait to try them. So let me tell you, this cooling rack is not just for baking. You put this over a sheet pan, or as we call them, cookie sheet. Put them over a sheet pan, and that's what you put your fried stuff on. Wings, chicken, fried green tomatoes, and it drains through this instead of setting it on a paper towel and it gets all soggy and mushy. That's the way to go. If you're a salter, now's the time to do it. As soon as you get them out of the oil and you put them on the cooling rack, salt them immediately. And, didn't know if you knew this, if you put rice, dried rice in your salt shaker, it will help prevent moisture from building up in the salt shaker and the salt won't get clumpy. So I always keep rice in this.
They are good.
Are they? Y'all, these are going to be some good groceries. The smell of them, I wish you could smell it. It's going to be so good you could smack your mama. Not that I would, because if I did, I'd pull back a stub. And I mean, my mom's smaller than 5 feet tall, but she would still, yeah. But it's going to be some good groceries. I'm excited. We love having our first meals of the season right out of our garden. We can't wait to get some ripe tomatoes, but for right now, we've got the fried green tomatoes, we have cucumbers, potatoes, green beans. We're very excited to eat. So while we're waiting on the tomatoes, I love a garden, but sometimes we have some stalkish deer. And by stalkish deer, I mean, I went out, it was one year, and Robbie said, there's a deer in the garden. So I went down to the garden to scare the deer off. And I go down there going, get. She turned around and looked at me like, what? So I kept walking closer to her, trying to get her scared off and go somewhere. She did not move. She started coming toward me. So I started backing up slowly, and all I could do, there was a green fence post, you know, the skinny metal fence post. I reached down, picked it up, and I'm holding it like a bat, and I'm thinking, I'm going to have to kill a deer with a fence post. But she's coming at me, just looking at me. And I'm backpedaling, and I backpedaled all the way up the steps back to the house. Scared my mule. I didn't know what to do. She was like intent on stalking me. So I came in and told Robbie what had happened. He witnessed it from the bathroom window. So it was about a week later, and I thought, you know, the deer's gone and she's not in the garden anymore, and yay. So I had a fire going in the fire pit. I'm sitting on the steps, and I'm scrolling through my phone trying to find some music to play, and I just felt something burning. I felt something staring at me. And I turned and looked. 10 feet away from me, there she stood, just standing over top of me. So I kind of like freaked out. So I jumped up, went down the steps, and looked at her and was going, shoo, shoo, shoo. She didn't move. So I finally like went all the way around and went behind the garage and back up to the house. And I'm calling Robbie, and I'm like, the stalker deer is back. She's back. Well, then when I came around the garage, I saw her run off on the other side of the house, which was to a very busy highway that we live on. And I got paranoid. I thought, she's going to get hit. I don't care if she is stalking me. So I said, go find her, make sure she doesn't get in the road. So Robbie ran out the door, and he went looking for her to make sure she didn't, you know, get hit on the road we live on. And she was nowhere to be found. But that summer, she was intent on stalking me. Speculation is people have fed her, or she's used to humans. I don't know. It freaked me out because she just would stare, and I could hear her snorting, not like a bad snort and stomping or anything, but she just stared at me. So anyway, I get kind of paranoid thinking when I go out in the garden sometimes. And now we have bear around sometimes. So let's put it right here. Look yonder, y'all. Oh, it smells so good. Is this me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big piece of meat. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look at this. Green beans, potatoes out of our garden. Chicken. Fried green tomatoes, the corn on the cob with dill. This is some good groceries right here. Let's eat. What's your favorite country meal? Leave us a comment. And if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more, hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time.